Mobile Task Force Kappa 42. Angel reporting in. Alright, for those of you who are fans of anything supernatural, or even urban legend related, here's a neat project for you. Item SCP-323, the Wendigo Skull. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-323 is to be kept in a 17 meter by 17 meter by 3 meter concrete containment cell in Site-91. The object is to be restrained in the center of the cell within a 1 meter cubed container of 8.8 centimeters. Thick transparent armor lined with one-way laminate which is to be fit with one electronically locked access port. This container is to be internally lit with the surrounding cell kept dimmer to facilitate the one-way laminate. The cell is to be surveyed remotely at all times, and any signs of activity are to be reported. No personnel are to enter SCP-323's containment cell except to examine the integrity of SCP-323's restraint measures. The restraint measures are to be examined bi-weekly, and any signs of any damage are to be repaired immediately. All personnel who enter SCP-323's containment cell are to be accompanied by an armed guard. Personnel are not to be within SCP-323's containment cell for longer than 45 minutes, and any communication around SCP-323 is to be written or spoken in a language other than English or French. In the event that SCP-323 breaches containment and an instance of SCP-323-1 is formed, personnel are to evacuate Site-91, and the site is to be locked down. Remote units are to be deployed and destroy the body of SCP-323-1. Following this, armed personnel may be sent in to re-establish the containment of SCP-323. Description: SCP-323 is the skull of an unidentified cervid, measuring 55 centimeters long, 27 centimeters wide, and 31 centimeters tall, with a pair of antlers, measuring 35 centimeters tall and 46 centimeters from tip to tip, growing from the left and right sides of SCP-323. SCP-323 shows signs of damage consistent with outside exposure, with regular pitting, scarring, and weathering across the object, bleaching on the upper surfaces, and a missing lower mandible. The rear of the skull features an approximately centered ovoid gap, measuring 25 centimeters high and 23 centimeters wide, giving access to an interior space 16 centimeters deep. This gap shows signs of tool use, indicating that it was carved with tools, possibly stone. SCP-323 displays the ability to react to oral, tactile, and visual stimuli. Testing has revealed that SCP-323 appears to have a field of view similar to that of other cervids, and has responded to visual stimuli from up to 50 meters away. The targeting of specific members of personnel, various attempts to breach containment, and the violent reaction towards speakers of the French and English languages suggest a level of sapience. However, this is unconfirmed. SCP-323 is capable of limited locomotion, typically in the form of small movements and vibrations. In most cases, SCP-323 will only locomote in the event of various stimuli such as the moving away when touched or turning when personnel are present within its containment chamber. SCP-323 has demonstrated the ability to make larger movements, such as lunging at personnel and repeatedly attempting to force its way through containment measures. SCP-323 exerts an influential effect in a radius extending roughly 15 meters from itself. Individuals within this radius will begin experiencing cannibalistic thoughts and urges, violent outbursts, and impaired judgment after approximately 1 hour of continuous exposure. Roughly 74% of individuals who reach this point will attempt to place their heads through the gap present in the back of SCP-323, with efforts made to keep their mouths uncovered. If an individual is incapable of fitting their head through the gap, attempts will be made to bludgeon their heads against nearby hard surfaces until the point that the individual's head fits, the individual loses consciousness, or the individual expires. Once the individual has fit their head through SCP-323, the individual is classified as SCP-323-1. Within 10 minutes of putting SCP-323 on, SCP-323-1 will undergo drastic physical alterations. SCP-323-1 will experience a rapid loss of body fat, body hair, and pigmentation, followed by the rupturing of distal phalanges from the fingertips, abnormal tooth growth, and the blackening of extremities consistent with frostbite. Additionally, SCP-323-1 appears to experience greater strength and pain tolerance than the average human. However, SCP-323-1 still appears to be susceptible to physical harm as it was prior to its introduction to SCP-323. SCP-323-1's metabolism will experience a dramatic increase, requiring a constant caloric intake, with starvation occurring anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes if no self-preservation efforts are made. In order to sustain its increased metabolism, SCP-323-1 will actively seek out and eat other individuals for sustenance until expiration. In the event SCP-323-1 is incapable of finding plentiful nourishment, SCP-323-1 will make efforts to sustain itself, including limiting movement, rationing available food, and autocannibalism. SCP-323-1 will only feed upon humans. It is presumed that SCP-323-1 is capable of receiving sustenance from other sources, but chooses not to, despite availability or ease of access. During the pursuit of individuals, SCP-323-1 has been known to occasionally make various statements in Severn Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Cree languages, as well as in the native language of the instance. It is not known if these statements and the knowledge of these languages is the result of SCP-323's anomalous influence, or if they originate from SCP-323 itself. See, I told ya. I'm gonna go binge on some Netflix or something. Stay safe, stay alert, and stay tasty.